In life, there are always a few unanswered questions, one of which is what it means to be human. Our next speaker would like to share a few stories about the humaning process. Please welcome Mr. Adolfo Gonzales with The Art of Humaning.
Afternoon. The art of humaning. Humaning. Not a word we typically find in a dictionary. What does it mean to you when I say it out loud? Take a second. What does it look like? What defines being a human? Is it our race? Our religion? Maybe our cultures? How does humaning look to you? Show of hands. How many here have felt this sensation we call love? How many here have been angry before? Yeah? Okay. Sad? Nervous? Right. When I think about all this, when I think about these notions in my head or speak them out loud, in my mind, I come to one word: feel. We feel, regardless of our backgrounds. We sense, we experience, we feel. Virginia Satir, she's an American author and psychotherapist, says, all humans experience the world in much the same fashion, through physical sensations, emotions, thinking, and experiencing. Indeed, we all have experiences. Experiences generate feelings. Feelings like love, hate, sadness, anger, jealousy. We all feel them, regardless of where we stem from or our origins. For the last 7 years, I have been experiencing and feeling. I've had many interactions. I've traveled many places. New exotic environments. I've witnessed different perspectives, different points of views from different kinds of humans. I've, most importantly, made a lot of great relationships. And throughout those relationships, throughout those interactions, I noticed a commonality, a link that regardless of the differences that we are taught to see, there is something that binds us all. What I see is these feelings that we all experience, regardless of our backgrounds. We all traverse through a sea of feelings towards a similar desire. That desire, from my perspectives, from what I have learned, we all want to be seen. We all want to be heard. We want to love and feel love. All towards some kind of fulfillment and happiness. Personal happiness. Now, reaching this desire can be a little tricky. Mel Robbins, she is an author, inspirational coach, podcaster, says, you have 3 core emotional needs: to be seen, heard, and loved for the unique individual that you are. When those emotional needs aren't met, it's not only a form of negligence, but you feel unloved, invisible, and unfulfilled. Like many occurrences in my life have transpired that have caused me to feel unloved, to be invisible, and ultimately unfulfilled. This is until I started seeing my experiences as the voices of reason to help me understand what it means to be heard, seen, and loved. What does it mean to be seen? Most of us want to be seen for who we are, inside. What I wanted to be when I was younger, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to write, and yes, I wanted to teach. I loved writing stories. I loved thinking about the human condition. I loved learning new perspectives, and then maybe hopefully performing them, getting to know them and putting them out on the stage for everybody to maybe see how it feels to be in somebody else's shoes. But that wasn't feasible at my time. Being an actor or writing wasn't gonna bring in the cash. It was something someone very sensitive would do. And as a man, being sensitive is not the way to be. So, I chose another trajectory. I chose to listen to what my environment wanted out of me. Okay, I got the safe job. I got the office. I got the fancy car. I got enough money in the bank. But was I fulfilled? "13 years ago, I said enough, and I made a change. I started listening to my experiences. I started thinking, why am I constantly so miserable when I have the things that I thought I needed? So for once, I took my experiences, heard them for what they were, and took a chance on what I wanted to do. To be seen. What does it mean? To live your truths. To listen to who you are. The moment I started listening to my own truths, things started to change up for me. But then along the way, I still didn't feel totally fulfilled. When I learned about what does it mean to be heard, there's one thing that just sticks to me. Relationships. Finding the right relationships for you. Now, we're not all going to vibe. We all vibe at different frequencies. Perhaps there's people you don't get along with, and that's okay. But finding the right relationships help you to understand how it means to be heard. The right relationships help us achieve a great level of fulfillment. Find your tribe. Find out with that tribe how it feels like to be accepted for who you are. It was only 4 years ago that I, for the first time, understood what it means to be heard. There was a person I met, and I completely explained everything to her. I mean, I thought for a moment, yeah, she's going to run away. I told her my experiences as a younger person with mental health issues. I talked to her about my discomfort of not being where I want to be career-wise. I talked to her about the choices I wasn't proud of, things that I did that might have hurt people. And to my surprise, this one person said, "That's okay. That's okay. Did you just hear what I said?" This person accepted me for who I was, with flaws, with my great accomplishments, but also with my flaws. She accepted me exactly for who I was. Nobody had ever done that in my life. Is that what it means to be heard? Whatever definition you have, or some people might have, that's what it felt to me. I felt good. Consequently, I ended up marrying her. And it's so far teaching me how to utilize these interactions I have with her every day and pass them on in my daily life. Lastly, to be loved. What does that mean? We all experience love. Not just romantic love, but all kinds of love. Love for everything. Between a father and a son, mother, daughters, for your passions, a brother, a sister. How to love, how to be loved. From my experiences, in order to understand love, you have to be loved. How can you be loved? A kind smile walking down the hallway. A service you can do for somebody without expecting anything in return. And don't be dismayed, however, if negative emotions come in. If you don't feel as if you're being loving. That is all part of the great dichotomy that exists in our universe. We're all going to experience that opposite of what love is. For a long time, since I was 12, I suffered from anxiety disorder. I was constantly worried. Worried about grades, worried about what would happen to me, what would happen to my family. It was something I could not control. As time went on, these anxieties took a hold of my personal and academic life when I first started college. It was tough to grapple with until I realized that these anxieties stemmed from what love is not. It's opposite. Fear. I was afraid. I was afraid of losing. I was afraid of not being enough. I was afraid of not achieving what I wanted to achieve. It was at that moment that I decided to make a choice. I can choose to continue fearing, or I can choose love. And it didn't matter how many people I talked to, what kind of professional help I got. It was this one choice I had in front of me. That helped me move on. And not necessarily completely eradicate my anxieties, my fears. No, they're still there. You live to learn above them by choosing to be loved. These three elements, I personally believe, can get us closer to fulfilling our desires. To fulfilling some level of happiness that we all share in common. To be seen, to be heard, to be loved. Regardless of our background, regardless of our cultures, regardless of all the things societies tell us that separate us. These are the three elements that we can all link up and share. Is this a definitive playbook for happiness and fulfillment? Not at all. It's just a quick, short synopsis of one guy's journey. And some lessons I think perhaps are worth spreading. Why? Because it is my belief we humans are all bound to the same human desire. The desire to be seen, heard, and be loved. I believe that is our innate mission as humans. And getting to experience that level of happiness is something I also believe we all, deep inside, want everyone to experience. No one can accurately predict what our futures will bring. But I think, as long as we carry at least an awareness of these commonalities that tie us, humans, and as long as we can continue creating these dialogues and sharing our stories, maybe, happiness and self-fulfillment can become a reality for all of us in the form that's unique for each of us. Thank you.